Hello, Angelus here. Another psychic reading, royal reading. It's time for Prince Charles. I hope you're all well out there today, and thank you for listening again. I decided not to deal with the past issues of the royals because there's so much information out there, it really doesn't prove anything. So I'll just launch straight into this reading, and the first thing I link with is the emotional stability Prince Charles has had since he's married Camilla. It's unfortunate that they had to wait so long to hook up together, so to speak. This is making his home life very satisfactory and a place that he enjoys being and spending time in. This relationship has been a positive influence in his life. It's given him a sense of security in his home and his relationship with her, and a kind of solidity to his life. I think it's a very happy relationship. I do sense that. And a relationship that I believe could last a very long time. I think she helps him with a kind of understanding. She understands him well enough, and she has a wisdom that he appreciates. And in spite of the history together and the tragedies involved in a lot of things in his life, there is a love here, a great love, and a wish fulfilled for him. So he now has quite a settled life. The past difficulties are sort of overcome, if not forgotten. I sense that there's a waiting period for him, something for something to blossom, and he's been waiting quite a time for this. Maybe it's to do with past issues to overcome, I don't know, but the stormy days, so to speak, seem to have taken their time to leave, and he's been waiting. And he's still waiting for something. I'm not sure what that may be. I'm not getting any information. I think there are a few more stormy days ahead for him, a few more difficult days, which can be overcome again. No different to any of us, really. We all got difficult days ahead, always. He needs to have clear thoughts and determination to win through a few issues. And he needs to be careful how he deals with the stresses of things. I think he can get a little bit caught up in things and doesn't always handle his stress very well, and that can be very draining. And of course there's a lot of people around him. He has to live a very social life in some ways. And there are people around him who have opinions, and his critics, that's what I'm linking with. He has a lot of critics, and they're not always upfront with him about this. But he has to push past all of this and move on. There are, of course, concerns around health issues. I know his father is ill at the moment and so on, and that comes up quite strongly in his cards, and so they also came up in his mother's cards. But there is a kind of a warning here. He must be careful around business matters. Now, somebody is advising him to look out for an individual who isn't completely honest with him. He seems to be a friend, but he's actually not a friend. He's duplicitous, and he is not to be trusted. And there's also some issues with finance and business. So I would advise that he looks out for this and takes the advice of someone who is warning him. Overseas matters are coming in quite strong with him, and foreign affairs. Some obstacles with this because they're important affairs, and there will be a sudden trip for him abroad. There are changes coming, not in his marriage, in his family perhaps. There's a certain loss I sense. I know there's illness there, and there's indications of hospitals and conditions having to need treating. So I know his father's ill, so it might be linking with that. His business can flourish further. It requires little more input and expansion. And I'm coming back again to someone who is very deceptive around him, not honest with him. So the advice I'm getting for the prince is do not be too open with certain people. Be a little more cunning at times. Do not reveal all your thinking about issues. Keep some things to yourself until you know exactly where you're walking. You have to trust your instincts on this. That's the advice that the reading is giving him, and to be aware of those who are overly critical and not very nice in their opinions. He must trust himself a bit more, because someone around him is deceitful, and he mustn't think that everybody's just honky-dory and okay. Some issues that appear stagnant will suddenly have movement, and the prince will feel some anxiety over this momentum because he wasn't expecting it. Maybe something that he's not, or something that has been delayed, suddenly happens. So this unsettles him a little. His sense of stability in this particular area, and again, it's not his marriage, but there are changes going on, and it kind of throws him off balance a little bit. I'm not saying anything negative, but some things will feel like an upheaval. So all things can be overcome. Through all this, his stability at home keeps him strong, and he will need support through some tough changes ahead. And he'll get this from his life with Camilla, I believe, and his family, his children mainly. So issues that are coming up in his reading are issues abroad with foreign affairs, travel, of course. I'm asking him to be cautious with his business affairs and the people around him, personal transition and changes in some of his life. Someone has a big health issue and there is a possible loss there. I will remind him of this deceitful person, to be very careful around this individual. He must be cautious, not to be too open with his thoughts and ideas. Some things are destined and meant to be, and he has to push through with confidence for personal growth and to be a part of this destiny. He needs to have this confidence in his own opinions and not seek confirmation from yes people, the sycophants of the world, or people who have not really been honest with him. And I'm sure Camilla will advise him on many things. So he's had a fortunate life, of course, as all the royals have, an abundance, and this should be, just to remind him, gratefully felt at a deep level, and I'm sure he does. There's an issue coming up of giving away surplus from the heart, which will connect him to other people, the public, in a more meaningful way, and I think he seeks that kind of relationship. I see more happiness for him, a personal sense of spiritual happiness, which he may need at times. And to know love, is we have to give love, and to know peace, we must nurture it in life. To have respect, we must give it. This is true for all of us, no less the royal family, and at some point in our life we all seek these things one way or the other, and I believe that he is also seeking this path, to be true to himself and to find a way forward with his people. Thank you for listening. Bye bye for now.